Welcome to English Reading for Learning.
Karate is for girls. Megan was so excited on her first day of karate class that she couldn't eat breakfast that morning. "I start karate today," she told her mom proudly. "Yes, I know," answered Megan's mom. "But karate isn't until after school. It's only 8 o'clock in the morning. It's breakfast time. Eat some toast." Megan ate a tiny corner of toast. When Megan got to school, she went over to her teacher right away. Miss Paz, I start karate classes today after school," Megan said as fast as she could. "How wonderful!" exclaimed Miss Paz. "That's very exciting, Megan. You'll have to tell me all about it tomorrow." "Okay," said Megan happily. Then she went to sit down at her desk. All day long, Megan thought about karate class. She couldn't wait to go. She kept looking at the clock. The time didn't pass fast enough. Finally, it was the end of the school day. Megan met her mom, and they walked over to the karate school. A man in a white karate uniform and a black belt met Megan and her mom. "I'm Mr. Levitz," he said. "I'll be teaching class today." He gave Megan a big smile. Mr. Levitz showed Megan a big, open room with lots of kids in it. "This is where we have class," he said. "There are 8 students." Then Mr. Levitz showed her how to bow to the room before walking in. "We bow when we walk onto the floor to show that we respect all of the people we will be working with today," Mr. Levitz explained. Megan bowed and stepped into the room. Megan learned a lot of new things in class. She learned 2 ways to punch and to kick. She learned how to use a block to stop someone else's punch and how to make a loud karate yell. In karate class, the time seemed to fly by, and Megan didn't want the class to end. At the end of class, Mr. Levitz showed everyone again how to bow to the room to say thank you. The 8 students in the class all bowed before leaving the room. The next morning, Megan woke up early. She hurried through her breakfast so she could get to school early. She wanted to tell Miss Paz about her karate class. At school, Megan began talking as soon as she saw Miss Paz. "Mr. Levitz said karate should only be used for self-defense," she told Miss Paz. "Self-defense means to protect yourself." "That's very interesting," Miss Paz answered. "I didn't know that, Megan." Megan went to karate class every Tuesday and Thursday. Soon, she started to learn something called first form. In first form, Megan had to remember several steps, kicks, blocks, and punches in a certain order. There were 8 moves altogether. It was a little bit like trying to learn a dance. Megan worked very hard, practicing the moves over and over. She really liked everything about learning karate, except for one thing. It was one of the boys in the class. His name was Brian. Brian was learning first form, too. Sometimes he would say mean things to Megan. Once he said, "Go away, Megan. You can't do karate because you're a girl. Karate isn't for girls, it's for boys." Megan got really upset. "What about those girls over there?" she asked, pointing to some older girls in class. "They're no good because they're girls," said Brian. "They should quit, too." Megan looked at the older girls. They seemed to be doing just as well as the boys in class. She didn't know what to say. Was Brian right? Were girls no good at karate? Megan was not sure what to think. "If girls can't be good at karate, maybe I should quit," she thought to herself. But Megan really liked karate, and she didn't want to quit. She decided to just try her best. The next time Megan went to karate class, Mr. Levitz made an announcement. "Today we are going to have a contest. Everyone will do a form, and I will give you a score. 10 is the highest score you can get." The older boys and girls went first. They had done karate for a long time, and their forms were much longer than first form. When they jumped up to kick, they seemed to fly. Megan really liked watching them. Mr. Levitz gave each person a score and then announced the winner. First place is Kate Jansen with a score of 8, Mr. Levitz announced. Everyone clapped. Megan looked over at Brian, who looked very nervous. Then it was time for the beginners to do their forms. Each person got up one at a time and did his or her form for Mr. Levitz. Then it was Megan's turn. She took a deep breath and started first form. She punched as hard as she could and kicked as high as she could. On the last punch, she gave a great big karate yell as loud as she could. When she finished, she was out of breath. Mr. Levitz wrote down her score, and then she sat down. Next, it was Brian's turn. He took the first step and did the first punch. Megan knew he was supposed to turn around after that, but Brian wasn't doing anything. His face turned bright red. He couldn't remember the next move. Mr. Levitz got up. "That's okay, Brian," said Mr. Levitz. "It's not easy to remember all the steps. We'll finish the first form together." And so Mr. Levitz helped Brian finish his first form. Mr. Levitz announced the winner. "First place goes to Megan Pierce with a score of 9, said Mr. Levitz in a strong voice. Everybody clapped and looked at Megan. She could hardly believe it. She had won. Brian walked over to Megan. "You were really good," he said. "Could we practice together sometime?" Megan smiled. "Even though I'm a girl?" she asked. Brian smiled too. "I guess karate is for girls." "And boys, too," added Megan. "Let's practice together next time." "Great," replied Brian, and they both bowed.
Thanks for watching and listening. Please click like and subscribe for new and latest uploads.